The concept of the third eye is one of the oldest and most mysterious ideas in human spirituality and mysticism. It transcends geography, religion, and time, appearing in various forms across ancient civilizations. At its core, the third eye symbolizes inner vision, spiritual insight, and a deeper awareness of reality. An eye not bound by the physical world, but one that sees into the soul, the future, or even other dimensions of existence. In Hinduism, the third eye is directly tied to the chakra system. It is known as the Ajna chakra, the sixth energy center located in the middle of the forehead, just above and between the eyebrows. The Ajna chakra is believed to be the seat of intuition and foresight, often referred to as the command center or quay of wisdom. Hindu deities, most notably Shiva, are often depicted with a literal third eye on their forehead. In myth, Shiva's third eye opens when he is angry or needs to destroy illusion, revealing a powerful, all-seeing gaze that burns away falsehood. This depiction isn't just symbolic. It reflects the idea that the third eye is a source of spiritual fire, a channel through which divine truth is perceived, not just seen. Similarly, in Buddhism, the third eye represents enlightenment and awakening. It is often associated with the Buddha's ability to see beyond the material world and into the nature of existence itself. Ancient Buddhist statues, particularly from Southeast Asia, often feature a raised mark or orna on the forehead, a stylized version of the third eye that symbolizes inner wisdom and spiritual perception. In meditative practices within Tibetan Buddhism, the development of the third eye is considered a path toward achieving higher states of consciousness, transcending ego, and connecting with the divine. Moving westward to ancient Egypt, the third eye takes on a symbolic form in the Eye of Horus, also known as the Wedjat, though not referred to as a third eye. In the literal sense, the Eye of Horus served as a potent symbol of protection, healing, and insight. What's fascinating is how the shape of the Eye of Horus closely resembles the pineal gland when overlaid with a sagittal section of the human brain. Connection that has fascinated modern researchers and spiritual seekers alike. The Egyptians saw the eye as a powerful talisman, one that granted awareness beyond ordinary sight. In myth, Horus lost his left in a battle, which was later restored by the god Thoth, marking it not just as a symbol of vision, but of regeneration and divine intelligence. In Chinese and Taoist traditions, the concept of the third eye appears as the heavenly eye or the heavenly gate, believed to open during deep meditation or spiritual practice. Taoist monks trained to direct their energy, or through specific pathways in the body to awaken this internal vision, allowing them to perceive truths about the cosmos, nature, and the unseen forces that shape reality. The goal was not just spiritual awakening, but harmony with the Tao, the natural order of the universe. In Western mysticism and esoteric traditions, particularly those influenced by Hermeticism, Theosophy, and Rosicrucianism, the third eye is often referred to metaphorically as the eye of the soul, or the eye of intuition. Renaissance alchemists believed in unlocking this spiritual eye through inner purification and mystical insight, leading to a direct connection with the divine or the universal mind. By the 19th and early 20th centuries, spiritual thinkers such as Helena Blavatsky of the Theosophical Society introduced the idea that ancient knowledge of third eye was suppressed over time and could be reawakened through esoteric practice. According to these views, the third eye was once fully active in ancient humans and civilizations like Atlantis, but has since become dormant due to materialism and spiritual decay. Even in indigenous cultures, echoes of the third eye concept appear. Shamans in Amazonian tribes speak of visions during ayahuasca rituals where they gain knowledge through an eye. Native American spiritual paths also refer to the ability to see beyond the physical, into dreams, spirits, or the future, something only accessible through deep spiritual training or natural gift. The universality of the third eye in all these traditions is striking. Whether it is described as a chakra, a divine eye, a source of inner light, or a spiritual organ, the symbolism remains consistent, a faculty of deeper perception that connects the individual to the spiritual world. From the jungles of the Amazon to the temples of India, from Egyptian tombs to Tibetan monasteries, the concept of the third eye remains a testament to humanity's ancient quest for higher understanding, truth beyond illusion, and direct experience of the divine. The connection between the third eye and the pineal gland is one of the most intriguing intersections of ancient spirituality and modern science. While the third eye is traditionally seen as a mystical or symbolic concept, often representing spiritual perception, intuition, and higher consciousness, The pineal gland offers a tangible, biological counterpart that has captured the attention of philosophers, mystics, and neuroscientists alike. The pineal gland is a small, pine cone-shaped endocrine gland located deep in the center of the brain, between the two hemispheres, in a groove where the two halves of the thalamus join. Though it weighs only about 0.1 grams, its reputation throughout history has been disproportionately vast. The gland was named pineal because of its resemblance to a pine cone, a symbol that has carried deep esoteric significance in many ancient cultures. Pine cone motifs appear in the art and architecture of Sumerians, Babylonians, Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans. These cultures often depicted gods, kings, or spiritual beings holding or pointing to pine cone-shaped objects, which modern theorists interpret as symbolic references to the pineal gland and its role as a spiritual gateway. The Vatican even has a massive pine cone sculpture, the Fontana della Pigna, standing in the Cortile della Pigna, which has long intrigued researchers and esoteric thinkers. Perhaps the most famous historical reference to the pineal gland comes from the 17th century French philosopher René Descartes. He described the pineal gland as the seat of the soul, a phrase that has echoed through centuries of philosophical and metaphysical thought. Descartes believed that the pineal gland was the point of connection between the immaterial soul and the physical body. In a time when dualism, the idea that mind and body are separate, dominated Western philosophy. Descartes' proposition placed the pineal gland at the center of the human experience, serving as a bridge between consciousness and matter. Although modern neuroscience does not support Descartes' metaphysical claims, his idea sparked a lasting curiosity about the gland's significance. Biologically, the pineal gland plays a key role in regulating circadian rhythms by producing melatonin, a hormone that controls sleep-wake cycles. It is sensitive to light, receiving signals through a complex pathway involving the retina and hypothalamus. Interestingly, in some non-human animals like birds and reptiles, the pineal gland is photosensitive and can detect light directly. In certain species, it is sometimes referred to as the third eye, because it can sense light without relying on the optic nerves. While in humans it no longer functions as a light-sensing organ, the evolutionary trace of such a capacity lends a curious biological underpinning to the third eye metaphor. This anatomical and functional positioning has led many spiritual thinkers and mystics to propose that the pineal gland is more than just a regulator of biological rhythms. They claim it is a dormant organ of spiritual perception, capable of receiving higher frequencies, visions, and interdimensional insight when properly activated. According to this view, the pineal gland is not just metaphorically linked to the third eye. It is the physical mechanism through which higher states of consciousness are accessed. Practices like deep meditation, sound frequency therapy, and controlled breathing are believed to stimulate the gland, allowing individuals to have visionary experiences or awaken latent spiritual abilities. Modern psychedelic research has also contributed to the mystique surrounding the pineal gland. A particularly notable example is the work on DMT, dimethyltryptamine, a powerful psychedelic compound found naturally in certain plants and also produced in small quantities within the human body. Some speculative theories suggest that the pineal gland might be a source of endogenous DMT, though scientific evidence is still inconclusive. The idea gained popularity through books like DMT, The Spirit Molecule by Dr. Rick Strassman, which posited that the pineal gland might release DMT during moments of birth, death, and near-death experiences, giving rise to spiritual visions or experiences often reported by those undergoing such events. Another popular topic among spiritual circles is the so-called calcification of the pineal gland. Over time, the gland can accumulate calcium deposits, forming what's known as brain sand or corpora annata. This process is common and often linked to aging, but in spiritual discussions, it has taken on a darker implication. Some claim that exposure to fluoride, artificial chemicals, and environmental toxins accelerates the calcification of the pineal gland, thereby dulling spiritual awareness or cutting off the natural abilities of the third eye. This belief has sparked movements advocating for pineal detoxing through diet, herbal supplements, and lifestyle changes aimed at purifying the body and restoring the gland's function. Throughout history, the pineal gland has maintained a dual identity, one as a mysterious biological structure with measurable endocrine functions, and another as a sacred portal to realms beyond normal perception. Whether viewed through the lens of science, spirituality, or a fusion of both, the pineal gland continues to be a focal point for those seeking to understand the deeper nature of consciousness and the possible physical roots of spiritual awakening. The third eye has long been revered as a symbol of higher awareness, transcending ordinary perception and tapping into the hidden layers of reality that most people never experience. In nearly every spiritual tradition where the third eye appears, it is not simply considered a metaphysical concept or anatomical gland, but a divine faculty, an inner vision that sees what the physical eyes cannot. This symbolism has remained powerful across cultures, often representing illumination, awakening, and the ability to grasp profound truths beyond illusion. The third eye is thought to be the seat of spiritual insight, intuition, clairvoyance, and a direct connection with higher consciousness or divine intelligence. At the heart of this symbolism is the idea that human beings possess latent abilities to perceive more than just the material world. The third eye stands as the icon of that potential, our gateway to higher states of consciousness and an awakened mind. In the yogic traditions of India, particularly within the teachings of Kundalini Yoga, the third eye or Ajna chakra is believed to be the center of command and spiritual perception. When this chakra is balanced and activated, the practitioner is said to gain access to inner knowing, heightened senses, and an expanded awareness that allows them to see the interconnectedness of all life. This is not just metaphorical seeing, but a direct experiential knowing, an intuitive grasp of universal truths that transcend intellectual reasoning. In many meditative traditions, the third eye becomes the point of internal focus, especially during deep meditation or trance states. Practitioners often visualize a beam of light or energy emanating from the space between their eyebrows, using this focal point to enter altered states of consciousness. These altered states are frequently described as moments of clarity, where the meditator perceives their existence not as an isolated ego, but as part of a larger, interconnected consciousness. The third eye thus symbolizes a perception that pierces through ego, illusion, maya, and the distractions of the physical senses. It represents the awareness that sees the soul, the eternal self, and the divine presence within and beyond the visible world. In the mystical texts of various religious and esoteric systems, the symbolism of the third eye is linked to inner light and divine vision. The Christian mystic tradition, though not explicitly using the term third eye, often refers to the eye of the heart or the light that allows the soul to perceive divine truth. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus is quoted as saying, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eye is single, your whole body will be full of light." This verse has often been interpreted by mystics and spiritual philosophies as a veiled reference to the third eye and the unified perception that comes with spiritual awakening. The third eye also serves as a symbol of clairvoyance, the ability to perceive events, energies, or information beyond the range of normal human senses. In various esoteric traditions, from theosophy to New Age spiritualism, individuals who have opened their third eye are said to gain abilities such as remote viewing, precognition, and telepathic communication. While mainstream science does not validate such claims, these abilities have been described for centuries in sacred texts, personal accounts of mystics, and spiritual manuals across the globe. The symbolism of the third eye thus encompasses more than spiritual insight. It is a signifier of supernatural or extrasensory perception that bridges the human and the divine. In the realm of psychology, the symbolism of the third eye has been interpreted through the lens of Carl Jung's work, particularly his theories on archetypes and the collective unconscious. Jung believed that symbols like the third eye emerge from deep within the psyche, representing the archetype of the seer, or wise one. To Jung, such symbols serve as pathways for individuals to confront the unconscious and access deeper wisdom hidden within the self. The third eye, in this framework, becomes a psychological symbol of inner awakening and the journey toward individuation. The process of becoming one's true self by integrating the conscious and unconscious mind. Artists, poets, and philosophers have also drawn from the symbolism of the third eye to express themes of enlightenment and inner clarity. It is often portrayed as a beacon of light or a portal to hidden dimensions of thought and reality. In visual art, it appears as a glowing eye on the forehead, radiating light or cosmic energy, suggesting a mind that sees into other realms. In literature and modern storytelling, characters who awaken their third eye are depicted as wise, perceptive, and capable of understanding realities that others cannot. The third eye becomes not just a religious or esoteric symbol, but a universal metaphor for wisdom, vision, and transcendence. The power of the third eye as a symbol lies in its ability to challenge the limits of perception. It invites a radical rethinking of what it means to see, suggesting that true sight does not come from the eyes but from consciousness itself. In every tradition where the third eye is honored, it stands as a reminder that the world we see with our physical eyes is only part of the whole truth. There is a deeper world beneath the surface, a spiritual dimension that reveals itself only to those who awaken the inner vision and seek to understand the mysteries beyond appearances. The idea that the third eye can be awakened or activated through specific spiritual and physical practices is central to many esoteric, yogic, and mystical traditions around the world. While the third eye is often understood as a symbol or metaphysical center of perception, it is also regarded by practitioners as a latent ability that can be cultivated through disciplined effort. The process of activating the third eye is not just about belief but involves a series of focused practices aimed at refining consciousness, purifying the mind and body, and realigning one's energy systems to become more receptive to higher frequencies of awareness. In yogic and tantric traditions, the third eye is located at the Ajna chakra, which sits at the midpoint between the eyebrows. This chakra is associated with intuition, inner vision, and spiritual insight. Activating the Ajna chakra is often considered essential for progressing on the path of enlightenment. The most common practice associated with this activation is meditation, especially techniques that involve focusing attention on the area of the third eye. During such meditations, practitioners may be guided to visualize a glowing indigo or violet light in the center of the forehead, allowing the mind to rest on that single point. Over time, consistent focus at this energy center is believed to quiet the mental chatter of the lower mind to create a space where intuitive insights and spiritual visions can arise. Breathwork, or pranayama, is another powerful technique used to stimulate the third eye. Specific breath control practices such as nadi shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, kapalabhati skull shining breath, and pramari hummingbee breath are designed to cleanse the energy channels, nadis in the body, and direct prana, life force energy, toward the higher chakras. These breathing exercises help activate the dormant energies in the spine and move them upward through the chakras, eventually concentrating them in the Ajna chakra. In many reports, advanced breathwork practices have led to experiences of altered consciousness, visions, and profound inner clarity, which are considered signs of third eye awakening. Chanting and mantras also play a significant role in third eye activation. The mantra, Om or Avam, is specifically associated with the third eye and is considered the primordial sound of the universe. When chanted with proper vibration and intention, this mantra is believed to resonate directly with the pineal gland and the energy field surrounding the Ajna chakra. Chanting Om during meditation creates subtle vibrational effects that can calm the nervous system and heighten awareness. They simply withdraw, allowing the mind to become still and attuned to more subtle realms of perception. Another approach to awakening the third eye involves detoxification and diet. Many spiritual practitioners believe that modern lifestyles, filled with processed foods, chemicals, and environmental toxins, contribute to the calcification of the pineal gland, the biological structure often linked to the third eye. Fluoride, in particular, is frequently cited as a major contributor to pineal calcification. To counter this, individuals may adopt diets rich in raw foods, antioxidants, and natural minerals while eliminating fluoride-containing products. Supplements such as iodine, turmeric, chlorella, and apple cider vinegar are often used to support decalcification. While scientific evidence for these claims is still being debated, the belief remains strong among those who seek to purify the body to awaken spiritual faculties. Sun gazing is another ancient practice that has been associated with third eye stimulation. This involves looking at the rising or setting sun for short periods under strict safety guidelines. The idea is that the early rays of the sun, which are less intense, can stimulate the pineal gland and enhance spiritual awareness. This practice has roots in ancient Egyptian and Hindu cultures, where the sun was seen not just as a celestial body, but as a source of divine intelligence and insight. Proponents of sun gazing often report increased clarity, elevated mood, and spiritual visions, though the practice remains controversial due to potential risks to the eyes. Sound therapy and binaural beats have become modern tools for third eye activation. Certain frequencies, such as the 1852 tone, are said to resonate with the third eye and encourage states of heightened consciousness. Listening to these tones through headphones in a quiet, meditative setting can produce calming effects on the brain, induce trance-like states, and enhance the sense of inner vision. These audio technologies are often combined with guided meditations or affirmations focused on awakening intuition and spiritual awareness. Crystals and sacred geometry are also used in energy-based practices. Stones like amethyst, lapis lazuli, and sodalite are considered to be connected with the third eye and are used during meditation, either placed directly on the forehead or held in the hands. Some traditions believe these crystals act as amplifiers of intention, helping to open energetic pathways and enhance spiritual focus. Similarly, visualizing sacred geometric shapes such as the Sri Yantra or the Flower of Life during meditation is believed to help synchronize the mind with higher spiritual patterns, assisting in third eye activation. Sleep and dream work also play a subtle yet important role in this journey, because the pineal gland regulates melatonin and the sleep cycle, ensuring restful sleep, and paying attention to dreams can become an indirect form of third eye training. Some believe that dreams are messages from the subconscious or even other dimensions, and by keeping a dream journal or practicing lucid dreaming, individuals can train themselves to interpret symbols and visions from their higher consciousness. Together, these practices reflect a wide spectrum of approaches, from the ancient to the modern, from the purely spiritual to the scientific, all centered on the belief that human consciousness is capable of evolution. The activation of the third eye in this view is not just about gaining mystical experiences, but about awakening a deeper potential within the self to perceive truth, experience unity, and connect with the divine fabric of reality. The third eye, while a revered symbol of wisdom and enlightenment across cultures, has also been surrounded by an aura of myth, mysticism, and controversy. Its very nature, positioned between science and spirituality, myth and biology, invites speculation, wonder, and debate. From ancient civilizations to modern conspiracy theorists, the third eye has been interpreted as everything from a divine organ of inner sight to a suppressed tool of human evolution. Understanding the myths and mysticism surrounding the third eye provides a deeper insight into why this concept continues to captivate the human imagination. While the controversies surrounding it highlight the tensions between belief systems and empirical thought, ancient myths from around the world have long alluded to the existence of a hidden eye, an organ or sense that allows the bearer to perceive hidden truths, communicate with the divine, or traverse other realms. In Hindu mythology, the god Shiva is depicted with a third eye on his forehead, which opens during moments of intense insight or destructive divine wrath. When opened, this eye emits fire capable of burning illusions and falsehoods to ashes. This powerful symbolism represents the purifying nature of divine vision, the ability to see reality as it truly is, unclouded by material distraction or ego. The idea that a god possesses such an eye suggests that the third eye is not merely a human function but a bridge to divine consciousness. In Buddhist iconography, particularly in Vajrayana traditions, the third eye appears on deities and enlightened beings as a mark of spiritual attainment. It is not seen as a physical organ, but a symbol of awakening, transcendence, and insight beyond dualistic thinking. The third eye in these contexts denotes an inner gaze, one that witnesses the true nature of mind and reality. Tibetan Thangka paintings often portray deities with a central eye radiating light or wisdom, a visual motif that reinforces the association between sight knowledge and liberation from suffering. In Egyptian mythology, the Eye of Horus shares symbolic connections with the third eye. Although originally associated with physical protection and healing, the Eye of Horus, with its precise mathematical components and association with celestial order, has been reinterpreted by many modern esoteric thinkers as a representation of the pineal gland and the third eye. The Egyptian god Thoth, who presided over wisdom, writing, and hidden knowledge, is also connected to the concept of inner vision. The mysteries of ancient Egypt have often been mined by occult traditions for evidence of lost knowledge regarding human consciousness and spiritual evolution, with the third eye playing a central role. These mythological connections have laid the foundation for various mystical schools of thought that view the third eye not as a metaphor, but as a literal tool for perceiving non-material realities. In the teachings of the Theosophical Society, the third eye is associated with the awakening of latent psychic faculties and the ability to perceive the astral plane. Madame Blavatsky and other theosophists wrote extensively about the pineal gland as a vestigial organ that once enabled humanity to communicate telepathically and see energetic dimensions. In this view, the third eye once functioned openly in ancient civilizations but was gradually diminished due to the decline of spiritual awareness over millennia. This narrative of decline and suppression leads to one of the most persistent and controversial aspects of third eye discourse: the belief that the third eye, and by extension the pineal gland, is being deliberately suppressed in modern society. According to this view, various environmental and social factors, including fluoride in water, processed foods, electromagnetic pollution, and mass media, are conspiring to dull human perception and spiritual potential. This belief is particularly prevalent in alternative health circles and conspiracy communities, where the calcification of the pineal gland is seen not just as a biological issue, but as a form of spiritual censorship. While mainstream science recognizes that the pineal gland can calcify over time, attributing it largely to age and dietary factors, the deeper implications of this calcification remain speculative and contentious. The integration of the third eye into modern pop culture and spiritual practices has also fueled both fascination and skepticism. Books, movies, and online content often portray third eye activation as a shortcut to psychic powers, secret knowledge, or supernatural experiences. This commercialization has led some critics to dismiss the third eye as nothing more than pseudoscience or New Age fantasy. Meanwhile, others argue that even if the mystical claims cannot be empirically proven, the psychological and spiritual benefits of focusing on the third eye, such as increased mindfulness, deeper introspection, and a sense of interconnectedness, are valid and valuable in their own right. From a scientific standpoint, the pineal gland remains a subject of interest, though not for its alleged metaphysical capabilities. It is studied primarily for its role in circadian rhythms, melatonin production, and possible implications in mood regulation and aging. There is no consensus within the scientific community that the pineal gland serves any spiritual function, nor is there empirical evidence that activating it can lead to clairvoyance or interdimensional experiences. However, the persistence of third eye lore suggests that there is something deeply archetypal in the human psyche that seeks vision beyond the physical. Whether this vision is understood metaphorically or literally, the mythos of the third eye continues to grow, shaped by evolving cultural contexts, mystical interpretations, and debates about the nature of consciousness itself. The journey through the concept of the third eye unveils a rich tapestry woven from ancient myths, spiritual practices, symbolic interpretations, and modern speculation. Across cultures, from Hinduism and Buddhism to ancient Egypt and Western esoteric traditions, the third eye has been revered as the gateway to higher consciousness, inner wisdom, and the deeper truths of existence. More than just a mystical metaphor, it has been linked to real physiological structures like the pineal gland, stirring centuries of debate over the intersection of spirituality and science. Each keynote sheds light on a different facet of this enigmatic concept. The historical and cultural roots of the third eye remind us that this symbol has captivated humanity for millennia. Its ties to the pineal gland add a biological intrigue, suggesting that our bodies may house the mechanisms for expanded perception. The symbolism of higher awareness reinforces the idea that true vision arises from within, an insight that has inspired generations of seekers. The wide array of activation practices, from meditation and diet to sound therapy and breathwork, reflects a persistent human desire to awaken this inner sight. Meanwhile, the surrounding myths and controversies reveal the depth of mystery and skepticism that continues to enshroud the third eye, revealing how it mirrors our collective search for meaning, truth, and transcendence. Whether viewed as a metaphysical eye, a dormant spiritual faculty, or an archetype of enlightenment, the third eye continues to fascinate, provoke, and inspire. It challenges us to question the limits of perception, to explore the inner dimensions of our being, and to seek knowledge that lies beyond the material world. In doing so, it remains one of the most enduring and powerful symbols of human awakening.